Good evening, YouTube. This is Kaylin Stern coming at you with my regular Sunday night dinner. And I have one of the rations that I got in one of the two boxes that I received. So Matt, of This and That with Matt, he sent me this. The label inside here is crooked, but it is one of the new Survivor Daily rations. I've seen these done before. They are similar to the Humanitarian Daily ration, just nothing else on here other than that this bag contains a daily requirement of food for one person, and it says it in Spanish. This is the same type of packaging that you would find in the new MREs, like 23 and 24 pack, and the older inner packaging of Sapaco and Ameriqual MREs. I'm just going to cheat and cut this one open. This one says bean salad. So this is a 2023 pack, so this is fairly fresh stuff. Apple pieces in spiced sauce. Then a white pouch. Sweet potato grape smoothie. This is produced by the Joy 2 company. Or no, actually it's thermo pack, but they put a Joy 2, like Joy squared on it. And then we have high protein cereal bar. Doesn't say a flavor. But there is the date code on there. And we have another white packet here. Sunflower butter. This is a replacement for peanut butter for those who are allergic to peanuts or who just cannot digest them. The standard Amory crackers. Just a bare basics accessory packet. And then one more retort should be the other entree. This is beans with potatoes. There's nothing on here than this. On the other side of this, and this was actually torn here, so I might have cut it. This is the nutritional information for the bean salad and the beans with potatoes. And this one was packed by Ameriqual. Let's see. Got Burger Butt and Burger Butt is here. Spicy tuna rolls. Mama Styles. Then there's Gabi, a name I had not seen before. Thanks for dropping in. So inside of this commercially produced accessory packet that you might get with a boxed lunch at an event. So a small spoon. Get a napkin. Got salt and pepper. And a salt-free seasoning. Now there are no drink options for this, just like the humanitarian daily ration. But I have a plan for that. I went into my bag of drink powders. I'm going to have the cola from a British ration. I have a plastic bag here that I'm going to use for my trash. Robert and DeCarlos Perry are here. And Joe is here. Thanks for dropping in. Joe's another name I had not seen in here before. Normally these British drinks call for 500 mils of water, but I like to mix these a little strong. And I will add a little bit more water to this later. And then in my delicious mug, I have a black tea bag from Target. Market Pantry is the store brand for Target. I decided I would go and have that tea tonight. So what I'm going to do is take these into the kitchen. Then I will come back with the water for the tea, and I will get a bowl for this smoothie stuff. Or I might get another cup. I took the kettle back into the kitchen just so I could get it out of the way. I think I need to move my table just a bit closer. Oops. Sorry about that, just making a slight adjustment just to make sure everything is visible. There we go, that'll take care of that. All the items I'm not going to use this little spoon. I stuck those back in the ration bag. My crusher is here. Thanks for dropping in. There we go. Sorry about that. I had to make a slight adjustment to my phone placement. I gave my drink another stir. Now I'm going to add a little bit more water. There. I'm going to open up the apple pieces and spice sauce. I will put that here. Food Forest Permaculture is here. Thanks for dropping in. Well, that was a fail, but I'll try the other end, see if that... There we go. I don't know what flavor this bar is. It just says high protein cereal bar. Maybe the ingredients might give me a clue. Has prunes, dates, so there's some fruit in here. It looks very much like a First Strike bar. You can kind of see the crispy bits on the end. Maybe that's just repackaging a First Strike bar for an emergency ration. because I have my phone mounted up so high. It'd be hard to read the chat anyway, but so I'm turning to my right to look at the chat on my Kindle. I'm going to pour the smoothie into my foreign MRE mug. It looks like baby food. I think I'll call it good for that. That's what that looks like. I'm going to put that in between my cola and my tea. Got the crackers here. The color of this is slightly different than what you might find in a typical MRE. I didn't get a hiss, but it might have ripped too loud. A little bit of crumble, but not too bad. So I'm just taking another peek at the chat. Yeah, I'm a teabag squeezer. I'm going to go get my entrees, and then I will be back to open the sunflower butter. I am back with my 2 entrees. And I got a paper towel to dry them off. This is the beans with potatoes. Now I'm drying off the bean salad. I shake it so I make sure that all of the food is below the top when I go to pull on the tear notch. Like the humanitarian daily rations, these are all vegetarians. That way you don't have to worry about cultural or religious dietary restrictions. I actually got some on the cracker, but that's okay. I'm actually going to push this one up. They'll eventually get mixed up, but do the same with the bean salad. That one didn't quite tear all the way across, but that's okay. I can still dump it like this. They look very much alike. These have no F or H in them, just like the HDR. So in a disaster situation when these are handed out, they just eat them as they are. There is Multi-Magnum in the house. Thanks for dropping in. This is packed in 2023 by Ameriqual. The sunflower butter is very runny. Thanks for dropping in, Mike. Hope to see you another day, especially when I get into one of the rations that you sent me. And I will bring out your mug, too. So again, this one, I'm not sure how well you can see this. I might have to try to reposition this. There, that's better. You should be able to see more of my tray. That's about as good as it's going to get. Just trying to get my charging cable out of the way because I start up with a fully charged phone and a fully charged power bank. So I'm going to go for the bean salad. It's very sweet, like baked beans, like barbecue beans. There's a bit of a tang to it. The sauce is so dark you really can't see what kind of beans are in there. Kidney beans, black beans, maybe pintos, it's hard to tell. But this just tastes like barbecue beans here. And take a drink of my British cola. A few years ago, I did an experiment with mixing that cola drink powder with some unflavored carbonated water and a tiny bit of sugar. Now I'm going to go for the beans with potato. That one is nowhere near as sweet. It's actually savory. The potatoes are, I'll just trying to give you a close-up of the potato itself. There's still a tiny bit of firmness, so they're not too overcooked. The beans in both of these are still quite firm, which is very nice. Howie is leaving. Thanks for dropping in. Hope to see you another time. I'll probably get both of them mixed together in this bite. Actually, eating them together does balance each other out This one cuts out some of the sweetness of this one. That's a smoothie. The sweet potato is definitely there. I can pick up some of the grape. I had to look at the pouch to see what the other main flavor was, so it's grape. I can pick up a bit of the grape. So it's nice that the sweet potato is not overpowering that grape flavor. Yeah, Robert is probably having his supper. I'm going to go back for another bite of both of them mixed together. You can see how runny the sunflower butter is. But that sunflower seed flavor is very much there. It tastes like roasted and salted sunflower seeds, just pureed. But it's on a bit of a runny side. Oh, cool. Robert is multitasking. I hope this project, whatever it is something that will be successful. This is just straight up black tea. I put a little bit of sugar in the mug before I put, you know, I did that ahead of time while I was setting up because I like my hot tea a little sweet. I like my iced tea not so sweet, but I will drink sweet tea, cold or hot. Now this bit of cracker got some of this sauce on it, so I'm just going to do this. See how it tastes on a cracker. A bean and a couple beans and potato on the cracker. All it does is just give it crunch. And a little bit of the flavor. Yeah, it got down to 39 Fahrenheit here overnight. So yesterday evening, after my air conditioner had cycled off, I just hit the button to completely turn it off. A bit got in my apples there. And then I cracked my slider and my bedroom window. My fans are still running, except for my ceiling fan because it got messed up when my apartment got flooded in the spring. And they won't replace it with the new fan or new light because the light fixtures themselves still work. 3 of the sockets do, 1 doesn't, but I never really bothered to put a bulb in that one anyway. And then the socket that's facing the slider, the bulb in there died, so I just haven't bothered to replace it. So I'm just running with 2, and I'm okay with that for now. So it's taken a bit of time for my apartment to cool down. My bedroom was at 70 Fahrenheit last night. Now it's cooled down into the mid, like 66, 67. But our lows are supposed to be in, I think tonight's low is supposed to be 37. And then after that, our lows are supposed to be in the 40s and 50s, and then our highs in 60s and 70s. And we may actually get a chance of rain one day next week. The whole state of Iowa is under a burn ban. So no open fires. Not even in campsites with fire pits. Or if you have a fire pit in the backyard. I haven't lit a fire on my deck for a few years. But I do have bags of sticks that I can burn. In my little folding twig stove. When I do that, I put that on a metal table that I have on the deck, and then I have 2 pieces of scrap metal that I just picked up off the side of the road, and I can use those as kind of a shield in between the stove and my deck rail. And it also kind of conceals it, sort of hides what I'm trying to do. Dignity is here. Thanks for dropping in. You're looking at a 2023 pack. This is the Survivor Daily Ration. This is supposed to be 1 day's worth of food. These would be given out in disaster zones. These probably were given out to hurricane survivors who have lost everything and have had to go to a shelter set up either in a school or a church or an arena, sports arena, or whatever place that can still be occupied and is a secure building, or a place where people can set up camp. If it's an outdoor space like a football field, baseball field, something like that, these rations would be given out. But you get no drink option. So you would assume that the person would also be given some water bottles, but no way to heat this unless you had a pot you could put some water in and boil it, like I did. Unlike the humanitarian daily ration bags that are kind of a salmon pink color, this does not actually say that, you know, it shows open the pouch, eat the food. The humanitarian daily ration bags actually have that as a pictorial type instruction on the outside. I'm guessing these survivor daily rations are intended for domestic use, whereas the HDRs are intended for food drops or distribution in disaster sites of other countries. That would be my guess. As far as I know, there are 3 menus. Again, all of these are vegetarian. Some of them may have a different flavored dessert, a different flavored smoothie, maybe a different version of this bar, which I'm going to take a bite of right now. That tastes exactly like a chocolate First Strike bar. It just does not have that label on it like the ones you would find in standard military rations. But these 2 entrees are actually a step up from the HDRs. And of course, the newer HDRs are a step up from what they were 2011 and 2012 when I got a hold of some of those. The flavors of those are not all that great. I've been wanting to try one of these since I've seen others have them. Yeah, this sunflower butter is going to be a mess. But the flavor is good. I really like the flavor of that sunflower butter. Yeah, they probably had HDRs. There were so many people that were affected by the 2 hurricanes. HDRs are probably handed out. These are probably handed out. And I wouldn't be surprised if the other civilian rations at Sapaco, Ameriqua, and Warnick all produced. Those are probably all handed out. Because so many people had lost everything that they had to get whatever food that was available, and having these is probably the best way to go at that time and for those places. Yeah, I don't doubt that Chef 5 Minute also passed out a bunch of their food. And there are other charities that set up distribution sites. There's one that I've been hearing online about called Samaritan's Purse. They do kind of like what Red Cross, Salvation Army, um, Bear Independence, Grindstone Ministries, and a lot of those do. And there are others that I have absolutely no idea what they're called, but so many of those groups went in there and started cooking up food. And I heard about one restaurant that could still run, but their fridges and freezers had crapped out, so someone brought them fresh ingredients and then they just cooked the food and handed it out for free, no questions asked. Just, we can cook the food, we'll give it to you. Yeah, that was absolutely freaky what happened to Asheville. Several YouTubers that I watch are from North Carolina, and they showed the damage to their properties. And the one finally posted that he got his home internet back online. So when he would put up a video before, either he had to travel somewhere where he could get mobile data or Wi-Fi and upload from there, or he had previously uploaded videos but then turned it from private to public, or however that's done for a scheduled video release that's not a premiere. But even though this guy's property got pretty messed up, and he lost a lot of the camping and hiking gear that he had because he's he's a product tester. The Outdoor Gear Review, that's the channel I'm speaking of, he gave out a lot of his freeze-dried food. He lent power stations out. Then another channel, Southern Prepper 1, he did the same in Tennessee. That's where he's at. He helped people out, and just others that I've seen from that area shown the place just completely messed up. Yeah, there are many places still where culverts that usually run water under a road instead of going over it to keep the road from washing out. Those have been completely obliterated. Yeah, bridges are gone. Roads completely destroyed. So it's going to take quite some time to rebuild all that. Plus, get all the power lines back up. Fiber optic or cable or whatever. Yeah, media lines like for internet. TV service. Landline phone service for those that still have that. Plus water. People have to drink bottled water, run it through filters that can get rid of all the crap. Yeah, that's really bad when an entire town got shredded. Having some more of the sunflower butter. And in fact, I watched a video before. In fact, there's a few minutes of it that I skipped at the end because I wanted to get my Kindle set up to show my channel so I could read the chat. Prepping Life, he was supposed to go to Tennessee to go hang out with some friends that he hadn't seen in a long time. But instead, he and his wife camped in a county park near where they live in the Cedar Rapids area. He didn't say the name of the park or campground that he was at, but I do not recognize it because I have not been to a campground that had a setup like this one did, where you have 4 tent sites and they all have to share a fire pit and a picnic table. So there would basically be like group sites, but each person who puts a tent down has to pay for their spot, or someone pays, just pool the money and pay for the whole spot. So they're kind of like small group spots. I've never been to DC. I've never been that far east. I've only been as far east as Columbus, Ohio, and that was way back in '83. So Johnny showed his tent that he used. He brought Mr. Heater because his last night it got down into the 30s, so he wanted a little heat in his tent, so he fired up his Mr. Heater. And he had his Coleman stove, plus a small charcoal grill, a tabletop charcoal grill, plus his setup for sleeping. His wife did not stay the whole time. He took her home because she had to be back at you know home to take care of stuff. But he had one of those camp toilets or like chemical toilets that you clean out, when you get back home. So they had that. That way you wouldn't have to walk several yards to one of the pit toilets that they have. Oh, nasty. Yeah, I'm reading the chat about, I'm assuming it's one of the football players who played today, but got himself into some serious bone trouble. Yeah, that guy's going to be in rehab for a fair amount of time. I don't watch sports like I used to. For one thing, I don't own a TV, and I just don't care to try to watch it on my Kindle. I put YouTube up, occasionally Zoom, if I'm doing an online meeting. But other than that, I just watch stuff on YouTube. I'm having some more of this sunflower butter. Still a bit thirst provoking, but you get a 2-ounce packet of this. I don't know how well you can see that. So that's a fair amount of sunflower butter for the crackers. I'm going to go for some more of this sweet potato grape smoothie. That would be a good baby food, no doubt. Oh, hopefully that guy will have a full recovery. This is the apples and spice sauce, basically apple pie filling. Could use a little more allspice. But there's a lot of the sauce here. But other than that, this pie filling is not too bad. Yeah, it's okay with the typos. I do it all the time. My wireless keyboard does not connect to my tablet anymore. It can still charge, but the Bluetooth just does not connect. Friday morning, I turned it on. I was going to watch a few videos before I headed to the mosque, and the Bluetooth connected, and then all of a sudden, it'll go to sleep, like standby if I don't do anything with it for a while. Then it just wouldn't come out, so I shut it off, turned it back on. I tried repairing it, it just would not work. Repair as in pairing Bluetooth, one device to another. And on a phone or tablet or computer screen, you would see the little Bluetooth signal that shows that the other device is connected, and so my keyboard would affect, what I type on the keyboard would show up on my tablet screen. But I'm going to have to get a new Bluetooth keyboard. What I have is an Anchor, but I'm not sure if I will get another Anchor or if I will try another brand. Anchor is good with their power banks. I gave my mom an Anchor power bank last year for her birthday. She uses her phone to control her hearing aids, and that uses up her battery juice, so I gave her a power bank so that she could keep that thing juiced up, especially on the go. She even uses it at home sometimes. If she has something else plugged into her laptop. And then this year for her birthday, I gave her 2 different lengths of USB cords, USB-C, because her phone uses USB-C. So she wanted cords that were not quite as long as a 10-footer, but so I gave her a 3-foot and a 6-foot. So that way she can have one that it would fit her need at the time where she has the power bank or whatever she's plugged into. Oh, Jeremy is here. Thanks for dropping in. What you're looking at is a 2023 pack Survivor Daily Ration. This is a new civilian emergency ration. It's supposed to be 1 day's worth of food, but I'm obviously chowing down on all of it. These do not come with drink options, so I supplied my own. I have a cola drink powder from a British Ration in my drinking jar. My delicious mug has the Target branded black tea. And I put my smoothie in my foreign MRE mug that I used to use all the time for my reviews, but then when I got the delicious mug, I decided to make that one my main review mug. Then any other mug that I grab would be backup. See if I had 2 hot drinks or I needed another mug for something like this smoothie. Now that I have a Mike Crusher mug, that will make appearances once in a while. Took by V is here. Thanks for dropping in. So, vegetarian entrees, beans with potatoes, they are more savory than the bean salad, which is exactly the same color. It tastes like barbecue baked beans. Sunflower butter for the crackers. It's very runny. This tastes exactly like a chocolate flavored First Strike bar that you would find in a military ration. Got apples and spice sauce here, which tastes like apple pie filling, although I think it could use a little bit more allspice. Nope. Yep, trolls have their issues. Although sometimes I call myself a troll. I say, yeah, I'm a troll. I troll for preps. Of course, then you got the bots that impersonate channels and claim that you want a giveaway prize and you have to contact them through some weird means, even if the video that they dropped a comment on did not even include a giveaway. They steal the channel logo of the channel that they're dropping their scam-filled comments on. I hope that something gets done about those soon because they are just annoying. I haven't heard of it showing up on my channel yet, but I have seen it on other channels. And I report them every chance I get. Oh, I dropped it. Dang it. I dropped that apple piece in my beans. Well, that's okay. They landed on the sweet bean salad. Just adds a little bit more sweetness. Of course, lately I have been getting scam text messages, some of them from outside the country, saying that your account is overdue and that you need to go through them to resolve it, but all they want is your money, even if you have nothing to do with them. So I have a way to report those on my phone, plus they also get blocked. Of course, Friday morning, I'm getting ready to head to the mosque, and FedEx calls my number but asking for an Oscar. And they didn't announce as FedEx at first, so I said, there's no Oscar here. Do not call this number again. It has been bugged by the FBI. That's what I tell scam callers, that my phone's bugged by the FBI. That usually shuts them up. But then she identified herself as FedEx, but had my phone number, but the wrong name. But they had no apartment number for the package. And she was wanting to, I don't know if she was the driver or the driver had the company or the distribution center call me. But maybe it was a driver, because someone let the delivery driver in, and the package was apparently taken to its destination. So the recipient failed to get the apartment number put on the address when ordering that item, but somehow my phone number got attached to it. So, no FedEx package came to me. I wasn't expecting one from FedEx anyway. I was expecting one from UPS. But I got my UPS packages set up to go to a UPS access point, but since a UPS driver that had Mike Crusher's package was in with another package for another person in my building, he just brought mine in instead of taking it to the UPS access point, which I set up to use. So that one was handed to me instead of going to a New Oriental Food Store, which is a UPS access point that I've chosen for my packages. I have a hard time trying to do that with FedEx to get all of my packages to go to a FedEx office. I don't get too many telemarketers calling. I used to get loads of calls asking me if they could put siding on the house or work on the roof. And I said, I live in an apartment. They wouldn't take too kindly to that. Most of the time that shuts them up. Sometimes it doesn't. But I used to have fun with those guys. And I used to get a lot of calls for, paying credit card bills that I didn't have, or insurance claims, or auto ones. Anything auto related, I have fun with those guys. They asked me if I want an extended warranty on my vehicle. And they asked me what make and model. And I says, I don't know. I don't know what it looks like. I did not know I owned a vehicle. Most of the time they get that. Sometimes they keep going on. I tell them, you know something about me that I don't know about myself? I'll put that question to them. Oh, they hate that. Yeah, I'm not a cusser, so it would take me a whole lot to get me to cuss. It'd have to be really, really bad. Well, this camera view does not show my drinking jar, so. But that's about as good as that's gonna get. Because I still have to do the stupid vertical. I don't like it. I wish YouTube would allow us to do horizontal stream. But yeah, I love to have fun with those guys. I had even gotten some about something related to kids, and I said, I didn't know I had any kids. I wish someone would tell me that. Say, eat this like pudding. It's too thick to be a real drinkable smoothie. Or I'd just rip open a corner of that pouch and then suck it out like you would applesauce. Of course, nothing beats this sex-crazed nuthead who kept calling a company that I once worked for doing customer service. If a man answered the phone, he would just hang up. But if a woman answered, then he started talking dirty sex crap. He wanted to get a rise out of the women. He wanted to get them flustered. He actually wanted to get them going and get them to think about, you know, getting busy, so to speak. But he never called again after I took his call. I just kept going on like, I'm sorry, we don't have any information about that, or we don't have anyone who can deal with that subject. Just any way I can rephrase that, I did. He got tired of hearing that coming back at him, and he hung up and he never called again. That's the only time I've ever had to deal with crap like that. Several years ago, there was a scam going on about social security numbers being revoked or terminated or suspended because of something. And if you got one of those calls, you report it to Social Security. But I think that got shut down because I have never had any calls like that since. It's been like, I think before 2020, like 2018, 2019, pretty much stopped after that. But I still had fun with those guys. I guess it's just in my nature to mess with them without going to profanity. And then, they get tired of it, so they hang up. Occasionally, I still get text messages and calls by someone asking for someone who had this number before I got it. And one of the texts was apparently some guy who had my number before I did was a frequent user of a sex chat site. And I was getting messages inviting me to look at not so kid-friendly images. Thanks for dropping in, Robert. Hope to see you another day. Now, tomorrow I should get that one ration that originally said it was supposed to be here last week, but because it came from outside the country, it got delayed. So I don't know if Custom got their greedy paws on it and raided it, or if it's going to be left alone, and I will get to enjoy everything that's in the bag. Oddly enough, I ordered that one off of Amazon, and Amazon still has a few of those, but it's a third-party seller using Amazon to sell their items. But when I do get it, I will do a mail call video on it. And then it will go into my ration box. And it will go into the lineup for review. Here's CR in the house. Thanks for dropping in. This is a new civilian ration. This was packed in 2023 by Ameriqual. Back side of this has a nutrition information. I stuck the items I'm not using in here. So, vegetarian entrees, bean salad, and then beans with potatoes. The bean salad tastes like a barbecue baked bean, and then the beans with potatoes is more savory. But they're both the same color, so they just ended up getting mixed. Sunflower butter. This is a 2-ounce packet. And the standard Emery crackers. This is a First Strike bar, but not labeled as a First Strike bar. This is a chocolate flavored It's just like a First Strike bar. Got apples and spice sauce, basically apple pie filling. Then sweet potato grape smoothie is in my 4 MRE mug. But it's so thick, it's basically like pudding. No drink options, so I have a cola flavored drink powder from a British Ration. And several years ago, I did an experiment with mixing that with unflavored carbonated water and a tiny bit of sugar to get it a little bit closer to the actual taste of, say, Coke or Pepsi or RC. And then I have the Target brand black tea in my delicious mug. So this one I got from This and That with Matt, among other things. So yesterday I did the unboxing of all of these items. I was just hoping to get the one ration in that came from out of the country, and according to the tracking, I should get it tomorrow. And you cannot quite stand a spoon up in this. I mean, if there was more in here, the plastic spoon that came in this ration probably would, but yeah, this is the spoon that came in the package. Salt, pepper, napkin, and salt-free seasoning. That was it for the accessory pack, which looks more like one you would get from a food service company like Cisco or Aramark or any of those others. But it's too thick to be one that you would drink. So that's why I decided to put it in something like, well, I wasn't sure if it would work in my tray, so that's why I got a mug to put it in. I could have gotten a bowl, but I just went for a mug. Takes up less room on my little TV tray that I'm using. I'm going to have a lot more sunflower butter. I didn't leave a very big hole to squeeze it out because this stuff can be pretty runny. I just squirted some more out onto the cracker, but there's still some in the packet. I'll just suck that out later, as I always do. Thanks for dropping in. Multi Magnum is going out of here for the night. Hope to see you another time. Yeah, earlier we were talking about how a lot of these rations and others like them were being handed out in the hurricane disaster zones, especially in North Carolina, where Helene really gave them a wallop. Yeah, wiping out small towns and villages, even going up into the mountains, doing some damage to properties up there. Yeah, the guy who has a channel, The Outdoor Gear Review, showed the damage to his property, and his dad lives in an adjoining property, so he showed some of the damage to his dad's property. Yeah, his house flooded. He lost a lot of his gear that he has already tested and gone camping with. But yet he lent out some of his power stations. He gave out a lot of his freeze-dried food, like Mountain House, some Norwegian ration entrees, whatever different pouches he had. He gave away a lot of those to people who lost a lot more than he did. And then other guys from other channels have done similar things. Southern Prepper 1, he reviews power stations. He lent out quite a few of them. So people down there who can help are doing it. Yeah. Yep. I heard about a restaurant that lost the food that they had in their fridge and freezer, but they could still cook. So other people brought them fresh food and they just cooked it up and handed it out. Not asking for a cent, they just did it. That's okay, stuff has to get done. Yeah, you live on a small farm or larger piece of property, especially if you got animals, you gotta take care of them. I finished off that cracker. I still got a lot of this left. The couple that has a channel, Hedgehog's Homestead, they got a lot of rain, so it kind of messed up their garden. But what they're doing now is they're actually having a pond dug on their land, and it's going to be big enough and deep enough where they will eventually be able to stock fish. And because their well does not have a whole lot of water pressure and there's not a whole lot of groundwater that seeps into it, they run out of that water fairly quickly. So they're having a rain catchment system set up as well. So they will have that water, and then when the pond fills up, they will have another food source and a water source. They would have to purify that water because of the fish that would be living in it and any other animals that choose to take up residence. But that can still be a water source as well as a food source. Because of the woods that surround and are part of their property, they can also hunt. And they have relatives that are nearby who can also hunt there. Yeah, that's okay, CRD. We all screw up. It just happens. That's the way life goes. Yeah, see, that just looks like baby food. And it would be the consistency of baby food. I could go into a store, look for baby food jars that have that exact same color, and perfectly match it. And it might even be sweet potato. There's another thing that's been happening lately. I think it was Friday night. We had a solar impact, solar wind, CME impact, and that caused big time auroras as far south as Cuba and Puerto Rico, the U.S. Mexico border. Maybe other places in the Caribbean could see auroras. One of the guys I follow here, who still does photography for one of the local TV stations, he goes out and likes to do nature photography, so he'll look for birds. And he's been capturing aurora shots, and he'll post them up on his Facebook page. Yeah, auroras are not very common down here in Iowa. Yeah, hunting for me would be quite difficult because I don't have the distance vision. And one time I did shoot a rifle that a friend had. I put every round in the dirt. That was, I think, 2018. Just to keep my channel somewhat acceptable. I won't say what type of rifle this friend had that I shot. I'll just say it was a heavy beast. But I had not shot anything like that since 1983 when I was at a summer camp that had a shooting range. It had 12 gauge shotguns and 22 rifles. And so those are what I shot back then, and I put every round in the dirt. So I would have to have someone go with me if I wanted to hunt. And there are hunting licenses for disabled people. Like if you can shoot but your mobility is not that great, you can have a person go with you, maybe help you get the shot. But I've never tried to take advantage of anything like that. I would like to. I just don't know if I'll get that chance to do that. But with my vision the way it is, hunting would be a bit of a challenge. And fishing is a challenge anyway. At the lake, I got skunked. Well, fishing was bad anyway. The few keepers we had either got nabbed by turtles while they're on the stringer, a heron stole one, and then it was hot, it was extremely windy, so it made fishing just was not that great. But I tried. No. I think with trapping, you'd really have to know your quarry very well, what their habits are. Now, there are some trapping channels that I watch. There's one called Kusk Wild. He has a cabin up in Canada that he built himself. He's been building some, he built a wood shed, or he's in the process of building a wood shed. But he also set up some traps for skunks. But he traps other animals around there during the winter trapping season. He doesn't show the trap actually catching an animal. He just shows where he goes to check the traps and to collect the animals that traps do take. And then there's another one up in Canada. This guy is building a log cabin, but he is also a trapper. But he's been focusing on this cabin build instead of trapping, but maybe this winter he'll trap again. Oh, Steve Brown's my Iowa brother. Haven't seen you in here in a long time. How's it going? A new humanitarian emergency ration is on the menu. Vegetarian as all of these are. Beans with potatoes, the bean salad, which is, I would call it barbecue baked beans. And I got in here, that's a sweet potato grape smoothie, but it's almost pudding consistency, or it's like baby food. There's a better look at it. Now that's basically sweet potato grape baby food. Got apples and spice sauce, but could use a little bit more allspice in it. But these are not bad. Yeah, I didn't get anything planted at all this spring because of the apartment flood at the wrong time. I was wanting to start planting after Ramadan, but nope, that didn't happen. I had stuff out on my deck for over a month before I could get it all brought back in. This is basically chocolate first strike bar, just not labeled as such. But still tastes exactly like one. But yeah, it was a no-go for the deck garden, but I found a third full bag of potty mix in the laundry room that someone had abandoned, so I nipped it. And now that's in my reclaimed tree watering bucket that lost its handle. That used to be my compost bucket until I found a dirty tote that was laying on the ground for several days, so I nipped it. Now my compost goes in there, but I've been adding organic stuff and compost to that potting mix to improve it. So next year I should have a whole lot of stuff. I should not have to buy any potting soil whatsoever next spring. Yeah, yeah, if they were stored in a place that is hot or experiences lots of drastic temperature changes, if they've been frozen and then heated or exposed to sunlight, yeah, that would have messed them up. You know, the guy that had the channel Iridium 242 had stored some MREs in his car, and he lived in a hot part of Utah. A relative has since taken over his channel after his death last, I think in August. But he had stored MREs in his car, and just to show what happens when you store them like that and you go to open them up, the food's gone to crap. So then he went to freeze-dried food, or you don't have to worry so much about that. Since they're completely dried. Oh, yeah, I do that. Even that one that I opened up that had the messed up entrees, or the one literally came apart, the pouch delaminated, separated in the pot as it was boiling. Yeah, I kept the matches, I kept the wet wipe, the rear roll, the spoon, stuff like that. I keep all those. Even the flameless ration heater bag, I kept that. So I'm guessing that before it got to Amory Mountain is where I bought that one from, along with that long range patrol ration. I'm guessing it was not stored very well before it went to Amory Mountain. But it was still neat to look at that transitional menu. I still haven't looked to see if anyone had ever done that one before on video, but it was still neat to look at it. Some bits were perfectly fine to eat, like the crackers. I didn't even open the cheese spread because I knew that would be all funk. But yeah, I enjoyed looking at that. Ah, yeah, I had a corned beef hash brown bag. A couple of those that I've had three of those. Two of them were absolutely awesome. They're well stored. The corned beef hash was absolutely delicious, and then the last one that I opened up had gone to crap. It did not look right. It did not smell right. Yeah, that one was a hot mess, but sometimes you can get an older one that is so much better than a newer one. I've even had newer emeries that were not stored very well already go to crap. But that's the way it goes. I got some interesting ones that I'm excited to try out, like that halal British 24-hour ration. That was a complete surprise to get that. I got that one from Mike Crusher, so I'm going to bring his mug out when I open that one up. And with those two more packs I got, the modular operational ration enhancement, what I might do is combine those with some loose elements that I have, like, just entrees that I have, some other sides that I have, drink mixes and all that. I'll make meals out of that. Several years ago I did a series of ration mashups where I combined stuff from U.S. rations, foreign rations, to make meals. I got enough goodies I can do that. That's That's okay. Tell Nora goodnight for me. Yeah. His daughter Nora's a good kid. She rides she rides a horse. She actually has competed on her horse. She's a good kid. Yeah, he has a fruit and vegetable farm and orchard. Plus, they have chickens and turkeys, so they have eggs that they sell. They also do flowers for people that want that. They have several greenhouses that they grow some of their stuff in. Plus, they have their open fields that they put fruits and vegetables in. They do alfalfa. And they sell to several farmers markets in their area. Yeah, so during the growing season, they're very, very busy. Hugo Homestead is here. Thanks for dropping in. I don't have much left of this. This Survivor Daily Ration, which is kind of like a humanitarian daily ration, but slightly improved. The only thing that it's missing is a drink option. But people that are handed these are also given water, I'm assuming. A smoothie that was in here is almost the consistency of baby food or pudding. So I have the cola flavored drink powder from a British ration. A few years ago, I mixed one of these with unflavored carbonated water and a bit of sugar to try to get it somewhat close to an actual soda cola flavor. Not quite there, but pretty close. And this is the exact replica or copy of a First Strike bar. It's a chocolate flavored with Krispies. It's got some fruit in there as kind of a carrier. But it's basically a First Strike bar without the First Strike label. I still got plenty of sunflower butter left. This was a 2-ounce packet, but I only had 2 standard MRE crackers. So I'll just end up sucking the rest of this out of here. The smoothie was sweet potato grape, but it was too thick to drink as you would think of a smoothie. Yep, that's typical CR. Yeah, Smokey was not live last night because his son had a health issue that Smokey and his wife had to go deal with. I haven't seen an update. Yeah, I saw it on there's a Discord account that was set up for Smokey by another Ration enthusiast. I have not seen videos from him, but I don't think I'm subscribed to his channel, but he's a little bit more tech savvy than Smokey, but yeah, Smokey had to deal with his son's health issue. So hopefully that will get taken care of and he'll feel better. Now, this black tea came from Target because the label had Market Pantry. So I knew that had to be Target because that's what they call their store brand. For their non-food items, they call them Up and Up. And they use an up pointing arrow as part of that logo. So that's what I chose to put in my mug that came all the way from Poland. I don't want to tip it too far because I still got tea in there. Came from Delicious. Now I have a mug from Mike Crusher, so if I choose to get into a ration that he sent me, then I will use that mug. I sort of retired my foreign MRE mug after I got the one from Delicious, but it'll make an appearance once in a while. I'm going to call it good for that sunflower butter. I just have a plastic bag off to the right that I have my trash in. Yeah, my cat is sleeping in my bedroom. I guess there wasn't anything that offered up enticing smells to her. But once in a great while, she might show up. I was in a meeting on Zoom, and one of the attendees showed her cat, so then all the other cat owners are showing off their cats, and Pumpkin came in, so she wanted a little bit of camera time, so everybody got to see Pumpkin. I finished off the tea. That is Delicious's YouTube handle. And then he has a website which is in Polish. Since that's where he's from. He has a food or review channel in Polish, which I'm subscribed to. I can't understand a whole lot of Polski yet, but whenever he puts up a video on there, I do watch it. I've never heard of such. CR. Maybe in an alternate universe. Or an alternate dimension. Yeah, I usually don't buy my mugs from thrift stores. I have a few that were roadside finds. And I had some that were given to me. But when I go to a thrift store, I'm either looking to maybe buy a clothing item, or I'm looking for canning jars, even though I don't can. I use them for dry storage. Or any glass jar with a lid. Or I may look for items. I have found medical supplies in there. I found my cast iron cookware in there. I found a few other nice items. I have an older Thermarest sleeping pad. It's a 3/4 length. That's not, you lay on it, your feet are not on the pad unless you curl up. It's one that self-inflates partially, then you might have to add a little bit of air yourself, but I found that in there. I found some very nice goodies in the thrift stores. The soup mugs that I have, I actually bought. They're part of my collection of Bohuslawiec pottery from Poland. I got a collection, I have plates, I have bowls, I have serving dishes, I have salt and pepper shakers, I got, you know, dry good canisters, I got a miniature tea coffee set, I got some animal figurines. I got soup mugs, spoon rest. So I have those. And when we had our international food fair at my mosque, I took a few of those pieces plus my Polish wooden cup that is not at all shaped like kuksa that you might see in bushcraft videos. So I took that and a few of my Bolesławiec pottery pieces. I did not have a miniature Poland flag with a stand, but I recently bought one. So I will have that for use next time. During that event, I served pierogi, which I cut in half. Some I cut into thirds after I cooked them, so that more people would have a chance to get one because I couldn't get the minis. And then I made Polish cucumber salad and served that. But my Bolesławiec pottery, it's different patterns made by different ceramic artists. Even if they work for the same pottery factory like Ceramika Artystyczna, they will sign their own pieces or stamp them with their own marks so that whenever that piece sells, the person who made that piece actually gets part of the money from that sale. So that's how the Polish potteries in Bolesławiec work. I happen to like the patterns and their style. They're microwave and dishwasher safe. They're oven safe. But I just choose not to use them that way. I would hand wash them. And then, of course, that mug that I got from Alaska Prepper when I won nutrient survival food packets that have each bag is supposed to have enough food for 1 day. But I also got a mug that would probably be about 1.5 the capacity of this one. So that would about, it's tall, it's not wide like a soup mug, but I could use it for a soup mug. Well, see, all I have left is my colander. I did not open up the salt, pepper, or the salt-free seasoning packets. I will actually put those into my camping food bag. Yeah, I have a Ziploc bag with different seasonings in there, so I will put those in that bag, and I keep that in this little soft cooler bag. I have a roll top dry bag that I use as my camping food bag for all my non-perishable food. So I have stuff in there all the time. So whenever I get a civilian ration, I have other places that I will stick those salt and pepper seasoning packets and things like that. I'll use Ziploc bags or I'll use the beverage bags to put stuff like that in. Yeah. I also, it's like for some for some of the different freeze dried foods and drink mixes and instant coffees and some vacuum sealed hardtack and other things like that. I put them in a bucket, and in the Ziploc bag that has the drink powders in it, I put a bunch of water purification tablets. So that way, if I have to blow out of here and I have to have my own food, I'll grab my bug out bag, that bucket, and some water. And because I have a collapsible wagon, I'll take all those downstairs. I'll put those in my wagon, and I'll start walking somewhere, or I will meet up with a driver who will take me somewhere and take my stuff. And wherever we go, we can we can have use of that wagon. And I took it to the powwow, and we used it to move stuff around. Plus the wagon that I had donated, because I ended up with two of these wagons. So both wagons got used to move stuff around during the powwow. And yeah, those things came in very handy. Oh yeah, you can get Mylar bags that probably you can put maybe a half a cup of something in. You can make you can put your seasoning blends in there. Or you could use those if you want to, if you have bulk coffee, you could put however much you want in there to equal a certain number of servings. You could use those bags for that. Or you could put seeds in them. You could put some medicines in, anything that's small that you want to keep dry, you can use those bags for. And some of those smaller Mylar bags, like I put some of my dried herbs in. I also have some of the half pint or the 8-ounce canning jars that would normally be used for jellies. I put dried herbs in those too. So that's how I got some of those stored. In fact, those were left by the dumpster. With, they needed new lids. Unfortunately, there was not a full set of 12. There were just 11 of them, but hey, I'm happy to have those. And some other jars someone had left in the laundry room a couple different times, so I nipped those. And if you buy the Classico pasta sauce in the jar, those are legit canning jars. You just put the regular lid and ring on it when you go to can food in it, and you're good to go. Oh yeah, you put cotton balls or dryer lint wads in there with some petroleum jelly. You could put fat wood shavings in there. Anything, any fine tinders that you could put in there. Yeah, those little bags are great for stuff like that. But I've been adding so much dry food to my stash. I think I may have to just get another 5-gallon bucket. I got a bunch of lids for smaller buckets, but I need the buckets for them. But I would have to take a lid into the store just to make sure that it would fit on the bucket. And I'd have to tell a store employee that, I have this lid. I want to find a bucket that it'll fit on. I want to test fit this lid to see if that bucket would work. Say, no, it's not a return. I want a bucket that matches lid. Yeah, you could call it that. But I have so many filled buckets that I have put the smack down on the lids that I'm running out of space. I wish I had access to an off-site storage that I could put them, but I just don't have that. Plus, someone would have to take me there since I don't drive. There are no storage units that are close enough that I could rent, but still someone would have to load them up in their vehicle and take me over there and help me unload them. Or if there was someone local here who wouldn't mind letting me borrow some space to store some of my stuff, because I would like to get some of it out of here. That way, if something happens to this apartment, I can still have other supplies elsewhere that I can go to. Oh, someone gave me some of these smaller buckets. I think they're like 2.5 gallon or something like that. They take a smaller lid than your standard 5-gallon bucket. But she gave me more lids than buckets. But I don't think she has access to those anymore because she was getting them from her employer. They're getting rid of those buckets, so she would bring them to me whenever she came to Des Moines for something. But I don't know if she has any more of those. I would have to ask her, see if she has any more of those buckets or has access to them.